save.
You guys remember when last year Kamala Harris warned that if Donald Trump won, we would enter a recession by the middle of this year? Yeah, looks like we're ahead of schedule.
His economic plan as something that would increase...
Panama, I'm gonna take you. Bermuda, Bahama, Greenland, come home to your mama. Key Largo, Toronto, Trudeau, why don't we go? Off the Mediterranean Sea, there's a place called Gaza Lago. That's where we've gotta go to get some USAID.
To prepare a song because, honey,
we can freestyle
we
a
can
song
do it.
right here.
Hey, off the memorization alone, I gotta give points.
Inflation, upper, global reputation, down, scandals, overflowing like a clogged drain. The man is out here running America like a reality show where the grand prize is collective anxiety. Meanwhile, world leaders are side-eyeing us like, y'all good over there? Spoiler alert, no, we are not good. Congress is in a constant state of panic, and the courts are working overtime trying to clean up his messes. Oh, my friends, buckle up. Because if this is just the beginning, I'm almost scared to ask what's next. Actually, scratch that. I am scared. And if history has taught us anything, we should be too. Because at this rate, we might not even have history left to learn from. Or worse, we'll be forced to relive it.
Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit.
Dictator rise to power. It doesn't just happen overnight. It happens slowly, day by day, bit by bit, until one day you wake up and you don't even recognize your own country. And the scariest part, we're watching it play out in real time. Yes, I realize an oligarchy is at play, but hear me out. There are 6 steps to becoming a dictator. Step 1, manufacture a crisis, then pretend to be the only one who can fix it. No dictator starts by demanding absolute power. They start by convincing people that everything is falling apart. And who do we know that does that? Trump. America's in chaos. The border's out of control. The election was stolen. Every time, it's the same script. He was even gearing up to say that this election was stolen if he wouldn't have won it. He makes people feel like they're under attack. And then like clockwork, he says, only I can fix it. This is step 1. Break the system just enough so people beg you to fix it. Step 2, control the story. Because if you control the truth, you control the people. A dictator can't have people thinking for themselves. So they make sure that what people hear, see, and believe goes through them first. Trump, he declared war on the press. If the media says anything he doesn't like, fake news. Enemy of the people. He brainwashed his base into believing that the truth is whatever he says it is. Step 2 is when people only hear your version of events, they stop questioning it. Step 3, pick a scapegoat, because a distracted public is one that's easy to control. A dictator always needs an enemy. Like a superhero always needs a villain, same concept. Because if people are focused on hating someone else, they're not looking at who actually holds the power. With Trump, it's immigrants. Black Lives Matter. The LGBTQIA+ community, China, the deep state. Pick a day. He's got someone new to blame.
The events unfolding in Trump's America are not just isolated incidents. Defiance of court orders, attacks on judges, and the erosion of democratic norms. Instead, they are part of a growing global trend where democratically elected leaders adopt authoritarian tactics to consolidate power. This shift raises an important question. Is the U.S. witnessing the early stages of democratic backsliding, similar to what has happened in other nations? Political scientists have long studied how democracies fail, and the troubling reality is that most don't collapse overnight through military coups. Instead, they deteriorate gradually as elected leaders manipulate institutions to secure absolute control. This isn't just an American problem. In the last 2 decades, we have seen similar power grabs in countries like Hungary, where Viktor Orban systematically dismantled judicial independence, restricted media freedoms, and changed election laws to benefit his party. In Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan used emergency powers after an attempted coup in 2016 to purge judges, arrest opposition figures, and reshape government institutions. In India, Narendra Modi's administration has been accused of pressuring courts, targeting opposition parties.
San Antonio Wax Museum removes Trump figure because visitors kept punching it. This is what makes life worth living. Enjoy.
In Trump's America, the courts are no longer sacred halls of justice. They're mere obstacles in his quest for unchecked power. Court rulings, optional, legal precedent, who cares? If a judge dares to rule against him, they're not upholding the law. They're declaring war. And in true Trump fashion, he doesn't just take the loss, he takes revenge. Forget appealing unfavorable rulings like a normal person. No, Trump's playbook is more dramatic. If a judge doesn't serve his interests, he launches an all-out campaign to remove them. Impeachment? Absolutely. Smear campaigns? Without hesitation. He's turned the judiciary into a battleground where loyalty to him matters more than loyalty to the Constitution.
And by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
Remember that whole Make America Great Again thing? Yeah, looks like we're on the Make America Regret Again tour instead. In less than 2 months, the man has caused more political turbulence than a cheap airline in storm season. His policies? A chaotic cocktail of rollbacks, revenge, and rhetoric. His speeches? Less presidential, more stand-up comedy, but without the punchlines. His decision-making? Like throwing darts at a board while blindfolded. And his diplomacy? Let's just say world leaders are treating him like that one uncle at Thanksgiving, smiling awkwardly while praying he doesn't say something embarrassing. And the way things are going, we might need seatbelts, helmets, and possibly a life raft to survive the next 3 years.
Republicans, you need to hear this. Please hear this. I was a Republican my whole life. I live in a world full of Republicans, my family, my friends. But does it not concern you that when Republican politicians today are asked about the lies, the undisputable lies from Donald Trump, their response now, to avoid acknowledging the lies, is to say, well, Donald Trump is saying what Americans are feeling. When it's not the Republican Party I thought I was a part of years ago. I refuse to be defined by a party who appeals to the masses by lying to them. Keep an eye on what he does with the press right now. Watch what he does with the press and the judiciary. The last lines of defense.
In using laws to silence journalists and activists. In Brazil, before his electoral defeat, Jair Bolsonaro undermined trust in the judiciary and spread conspiracy theories about election fraud to delegitimize his loss. The erosion of democratic institutions follows a predictable pattern. First, judicial independence is weakened. Then, the press is controlled. Then, political opposition is criminalized. What often follows is an unchecked consolidation of power. The United States, once a global champion of democracy, now finds itself flirting with these same dangerous tendencies. The question that remains is whether the American system is strong enough to withstand this kind of erosion. Are the country's institutions resilient enough to push back against a leader determined to bend them to his will? Or is this just the beginning of a deeper shift away from the democratic principles that have defined the nation for centuries? For more in-depth discussions and critical analysis, don't forget to like and subscribe to Trend
Talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Well, folks, here we are. Another episode of Trump's America, where every new day is a plot twist, and our collective jaws remain permanently unhinged. You'd think after his first presidency, we'd seen it all. But no, Trump 2.0 is here. And let me tell you, if his first term was a political thriller, this one is shaping up to be a full-blown disaster movie, minus the hero's last-minute save.
I'm going to say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane.
Donald Trump lives by one song. It was a Beach Boys hit back in the day. Aruba, Jamaica,